In this screencast I'll show you how to deploy a test in UniLearn. So click on the area where you want to deploy the test, which normally might be under assignments or assessment. Once that content area comes up, you can click on assessments, click on test, and it will bring up the different possible tests that we can use here. I'm going to click on Geo1, press submit. That's the test that I want to deploy at the moment, and it will, once I hit submit, it will think about it, but then it will bring up lots of options that I need to click on and actually configure. So the few different bits and pieces here. Open the test in a new window. You don't need to say yes to that. I just normally leave that as no. Make the link available. Yes. If you leave that as no, it will just always be invisible to students. No matter what dates and deadlines you set, it will just always be unavailable to the students. So you must press make the link available. Yes. You can get it to add an announcement. I just normally leave that as no and add my own announcements. You can select if there's going to be multiple attempts. So if you want to, you can just leave that unchecked and the students will get one attempt. Or for online tutorials, sometimes I allow unlimited attempts and then give them the highest grade. There's all sorts of different options that you can set there. If you press force completion, that means that if the student gets logged out of UniLearn for any reason, they can't log back in and complete it. Now, it seems like a good idea to make them do it in one sitting maybe, but if they lose their connection for some reason, then you're going to get lots of kind of emails and complaints saying that, look, I got logged out and I need to get back in, and can you reset it? So actually I leave that unchecked, and if it is a test of some sort, maybe I set the timer and give them 60 minutes. In the instructions I might say you've got 30 minutes, but then make it 60, just so that it allows extra time for those that need it. And I normally press that on as well, so that the test will automatically be saved and submitted when the time expires. You can set dates for after which this should be displayed. So I'll set this to be displayed after let's display it after 1 o'clock tomorrow, and let's display it until the 30th. There we go. Maybe till the end of the day there. You can put a password on if you want. That's sometimes useful if you're using this in the lab and you want students to check their work with you before they submit this through UniLearn. They submit their lab work through UniLearn. If it's just an online tutorial or an online test, then maybe you might not use that. You can select a due date. That can be useful as well, and this will show up for the students, but you'll also maybe put this in the announcement to them. And you can press do not allow the students to start the test if the time's passed, or you can leave that unchecked and then students can still take the test after that deadline. But remember, it will disappear a few days later anyway, so there are different ways of kind of controlling this and letting this be released and giving access to the students in different ways. Assessment options, you can check or uncheck these boxes, and then you've also got some different options here in terms of what students see and when. So after submission, you might actually allow them to see the score per question, but not some of the more detailed information. You might actually just say after the due date they can see more information, so that they can't show that to their friends and give an unfair advantage to somebody else. You can show all of the questions at once if you want. You can show them one at a time. You can prohibit backtracking if you want, so they can't go back to a question after they've submitted the answer. So sometimes I put that on, sometimes I keep that off. It depends on the situation and the circumstance. You might also want to randomize the order in which the questions appear. I don't normally use that one. Normally the randomization of my quizzes comes about because I have random blocks that draw on different questions and give different combinations of questions. Okay, so once you've set all of these different factors up, press submit, and then UniLearn should load this quiz into the content area that you've selected for this to go into. And there it is, it's appeared here, and it says it's not available until the 22nd at 1 PM. So overall, that is how you can deploy a test in UniLearn.